I'm going to be reviewing the AI automation business model. AI is one of the hottest trending topics right now, and so I want to break down as a programmer, what are my thoughts on it and how does this work? If you don't know who I am, I'm a software engineer with 5 years of experience. I've worked at Walmart and Citibank and other companies. I've built out real applications, and I want to give my advice onto this whole like AI automation thing because there's not a ton of creators doing it who have a programming background. Most of them like they could just kind of self-taught themselves, like they haven't worked for a company and doing anything. Right. So if you don't know what a business model is, I want to give like some examples, right? So like first, I think we probably had like drop shipping, like that was like a really big one that like, took off. Now we have like this AI automation stuff, like that's like really, really taken off. But before then, before the AI stuff, there was crypto, then there were NFTs, let's see here, drop shipping. There was making like little Android apps. I think Facebook ads was really like popping off. There's lawn care, so like spraying down people's like lawns and like cleaning like their cleaning stores and things like that. So all of that stuff these are all like just different types of business models. The idea of AI automation is very, very simple. What you look into a business, you see where you can use AI to help save them time, and then you implement it and save them time. Because you're saving them time, you're going to be, making them more money. On the contrary side too, you can also even just be like using AI to generate money for them. So there's another business model. It's called like YouTube automation. So we type in here. I don't know fully about YouTube automation, honestly, but my understanding is that you're just going to be generating content automatically using AI and then just making money off of it. But with all of these, right? So we've got Andrew Tate's course here, which he's got like this real world. He has a course and like, oh, here's how you can use AI to make, businesses more money, and then you can take a piece of that profit, right? So like this is, and predominantly the people who are inside of this, like one, this is very, very, very big. So 200,000 views on Andrew Tate's AI course. There's a million views on like, if you look at make money with AI, let's like, searching make money with AI. Here's how to start a business with AI. Here's how to get AI and get rich in the AI revolution, 500K, 2 million, Google's AI course, another 2 million, 1.5 million. How I would learn AI if I could start over. So AI is really, really massive, and most people have no idea how to program who are actually watching these videos, which is, which is a surprise to me. And so I think a lot of people are realizing, oh, I can start coding with ChatGPT. Well, then if I can code with ChatGPT, I can start making applications with people. And so there's this whole segment of people. There's this whole segment of people who are like learning these automation tools, like using Make, using Zapier, and they're obviously going into all these courses. So each person here that I'm showing you, they probably have some course on AI. Not all of them, but if we type in like AI automation business, I studied 2200, here's what works. Of course we have Liam Otley showing how to start an AI automation agency, and I guess more things here, AI, SEO, SaaS with Ben AI. Now, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of like the AI space. I have been in it like myself. So I was a part of like an AI community where I was helping like build out like AI tools. I've also built AI tools for, for lawyers when I was like starting the business and doing that. And so I've been inside for a bit. And so I can just kind of just share my perspective on like what I've noticed. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Like what's with all like these numbers, these high prices, what's up with all these courses, all of the coaching, see the thumbnails, they say, oh, you can make this much money, this much money, this much money. And I kind of want to like just distill that down. And so the first thing that I'm going to say is that if you don't have any business skills, if you don't have any development skills, you should not be doing any AI automation agency, at least assuming that you're trying to make money in the next like 2 years. And I mean like money that's going to be like, like I would imagine like 5,000 a month. It's possible, but it's going to be a ton of work. And I don't even think it's like worth it at all. So there's like several kind of like things that are happening when you don't have any business skills. And when I say business skill, I mean that like you have sold something. That's what I mean, right? Like have you sold something? Have you built like some kind of business? Have you run these like something before and then you're pivoting over into AI as kind of like your new venture? If you don't have experience doing that, and also by development experience, I mean that you have not programmed anything, you've not built projects, and I don't mean using ChatGPT, but if you're like complete beginner, never touched it before, you don't know how to code, like actually write lines of code, I wouldn't even bother with doing any of this stuff for a variety of reasons. So number one, when you're doing that, you're going to be kind of leaning into, which is more of like the ChatGPT. Like a lot of the stuff's going to be hacky because like you can code fast. You can build full-on games with ChatGPT. The problem comes when you need to make changes, right? So there's the context window. So the more like you build quickly, you start stacking and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now the code can't actually know. The code is actually too big for the ChatGPT's code to know what's even going on. And now, if you have a client and they say, "Oh, I would like to make a change here," well, now they can't make that change. Now you can't help them because you don't have like the skills, and then they say, "Okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm going to go to your competitor who actually does know how to code." And that's just one scenario where like this just kind of goes south for like the adaptability. But like the more realistic scenario is like you try coding this stuff out, you actually realize you hate coding with a passion because your brain just does not work that way, and you give up. And so now you've wasted money on courses, money on coaches, money on whatever, and you have nothing to show for it. And this is a clip from Alex Hormozi. Not even a clip, it's just a full 10-minute video. Like you could watch it if you want, but it's a really good idea. If you know who Alex Hormozi is, he's got like 3 million subscribers on YouTube. And what he's talking about here is just don't start a software company. Again, this was 3 years ago, but the same principles are going to apply, which is that like software is very, very, very like rough. One in the sense of like as an industry, it moves very, very quickly. There's a ton of competition. Google, you're competing with Google. Google's got a ton of projects. If you think Google is not trying to tap into the AI market, you are wrong. They already have a team of software engineers that they're paying $300,000 a year for, who are working their butts off 8 hours a day building out tools. And if you think you can actually compete with them, like this is what I mean. Like if you think about this on like a long-term stretch, you're going to need to make changes to your code. You're going to need to change something. Users are going to change. Big companies are going to be changing their things. And if you can't even keep up with that because you don't know how to code, you're going to be lost behind. And you need to like come to that realization, which is that like if you're not good at coding, like everyone else is. Like there are people who are in Silicon Valley who are getting paid a ton. There's startups who are getting tons of VC funding and they're paying those software engineers, and those software engineers are working hard. So I think you'll make money in the short term. You can sell some bad software to people, right? Like this is like something that like marketers got really, really well, the scammy marketers and salespeople, which is that you can sell products that are crap to people, and then eventually your name's going to get out that you're crap and nobody wants to work with you and you've exhausted all of it. And I see that happening, at least what I can imagine, for people who don't have the business skills, and then people who also don't have like the actual dev skills. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is kind of like the idea of like business as kind of like RPG skills. Like really, it's like the concept of like making money. You can think of it like a video game, and like imagine if you're playing like Morrowind or Oblivion, whatever, Skyrim, or just any video game where like you get these points, you get like some certain amount of experience points. Then when you hit like a certain experience point threshold, well, then you level up. And then when you level up, like you get like these new abilities that you can unlock and you can start playing around with those. And for business, it's like there's like this like scale, like there's like a scale, there's like a sales kind of like level, and then there's like this marketing level. And then when you do AI automation agency, you're also adding in a development skill set now, because if you can't develop, well, now you can't even deliver on your services, right? If you were to do something like a social media marketing agency, well, now you only need to learn one. You just need to learn social media marketing, and then you help other people with their social media, and you use social media like to do that, right? So you only need to learn one thing. But if you're going to do the AI automation agency, well, now you've got to build it out. Now you've got to have all those three, and you make $0 until like each one is at like a minimal threshold. And so if you're starting with no skills, if you have no idea how to use YouTube, you have no idea how to run ads, you have no idea how to do cold outreach, well, you're starting at zero. And like, I mean, sure, you could message your friends and family, sure, but then, okay, now you're at the dev side. So now how are you going to code it? Well, now you've got to learn, and now you've got to figure that stuff out. And the bar is lower. It's a lot lower with ChatGPT, but you're still going to be running into issues. You're still going to be running into problems. Like, yes, the bar is low, but it's not like at like a baby's level low. Again, from what I've seen people who are asking like just terrible questions that like a first year CS student should know. And anyways, for all of those reasons, right? Like you just shouldn't like, I would not think of AI automation agency as like, oh my God, this is like free money. Like there's just no, there is no way that I would think about it because it is a ton of work. And so if you're okay doing like a ton of work, working on all those three skills, well then yeah, sure. I would rather just like, if I don't know how to code, just go do something that doesn't use those skills, that doesn't require development. And then I can just make money doing those and then in the future come back. Or I decide, hey, you know what? I don't even want to come back because really all I care about is making 10K a month. And so I don't need to make 100K a month, or I don't need to make 200K a month, or like be a $1 trillion company like Google. I'm okay doing it this way. Wait, and the second scenario I can imagine is like if you have the business experience, but you don't have the development experience. And this case is like way better because you can actually like, you could one contract devs. So you can actually find a developer, pay them money, and they'll work on your payroll. You could find really, really good developers in like, lower cost of living areas, and then just like make good products off of that. And I actually really like that idea. I don't mind it. It works. And so like if you've got this experience of like the sales and the marketing, this is kind of where like if you get these things down, like you probably never run out of money, honestly. The only problem though is like, okay, how are you going to find an actual developer? How are you going to find a good developer if you don't even know what a good developer looks like? That's a really question. That's a really, really, I guess, unique question. Because you look at companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and what they do is they have a very rigorous like testing. They have like a lot of metrics. They have like rubrics and all of that stuff when they're looking for their developers. But one, you don't have the brand of Google. So like what company, what developer wants to work for you? Two, you're probably not offering that much money because you're just starting this. You're doing this to get rich. So you're obviously not rich. And so why would they work for you if you don't have a lot of money to give them? And so if you can't attract top talent, or you don't even know what top talent looks like because you don't know how to code, well, like you're probably not going to get that top talent. And so this is going to come into problems where, again, in the future, if you need to make changes, if you need to compete, if someone copies your idea and their product is just way better because they actually have a good developer or a good development team. So it's hard to beat like 6 really good developers with 1 developer. But again, you really only need 1 developer. And so if you're trying to just stay at 10K a month, you only need like really 1 developer. So I like it. I think it works. Like I think you can make, a good amount of money from it. And I would just be careful when it comes to like kind of like looking for developers. And like the big thing I would be thinking is I would just be asking them like I would have like a set of coding questions. I would be giving that to them, seeing how they develop it, and then probably like firing very early if I don't see like the work output like as to what like I'm expecting. And the third one is like, what if you have a development experience but you actually have never done like any business stuff, you've never actually sold any kind of product before ever? Like, should you be doing like this AI stuff? Should you be trying to like get into it? Should you be trying to learn into it? And one in the aspect of like, should you do AI automation agency? I don't think you should be doing it because there's just so many better ways to make a lot of money as a software engineer. But if you do like business, if you do like enjoy it, I actually think it's like really good. I think it's like a good point that you can get at. It's like if you're okay learning the business skills, if you're okay like doing that stuff, like it can be good, it can be fun. And you'll learn like a lot of skills along the way that are going to help you out in the future. So if you do lose your job full time, well then you can go ahead and do this. But for most like software engineers, none of them are like that. You can make a ton of money working at Google. You can make a ton of money doing Leetcode, right? So Google will pay any like actual developer, like if you literally just have the experience, you have the projects, whatever, and you can do the Leetcode stuff, they'll pay a new college student $180,000 a year, according to like levels.fi and what you can find online. The average range, like in my college, students were getting job offers for $70,000, and then students were getting jobs for $200,000, like total compensation every year. And so like I would rather you just make that money guaranteed. Like you're gonna make way more because at the start when you don't have those skills, again, if we think about it as like an experience bar, if you don't have like those skills stacked in like the sales and marketing, you make nothing. And it's not until you start like whittling away like little just going that you actually make those like great returns, right? And so so as opposed to that, you can do a little bit of Leetcode and you make crazy amounts. Like your income skyrockets, but you have to kind of hit that threshold. So I would rather just make 200K a year, 500K a year, and not even have to deal with like whittling away slowly over years, like trying to learn like sales and marketing. But like overall, all the stuff I said was like pretty negative. I think, it's just kind of like you shouldn't really be doing it. because I don't think you should. I don't think you need to, and I think it's definitely overhyped. I think it's like overinflated. But I will mention some of the pros is that like one of the pros is that it kind of helps you for if you are laid off. Well, now you have the skills to either find work very quickly or you have like a backup plan, basically. Other idea that I like about it is that it's preparing you for like AI taking over. It's you're getting like a skill set into AI, right? And that's just going to help you if AI does become something that's like a needed skill, which it's looking like it is. But in the actual event that it is, it's good to have those skills and already have like the presence, already have like all of that stuff kind of set. And overall, like this is just really, really like important, right? So like one is just like the skill of like just learning, right? So not even just learning something. A lot of software engineers, it feels like they're stuck because they're not learning. And I'm gonna guess that applies to like other industries too, where you decide to not learn anything and then you just stagnate in your career because you never learned. You didn't learn how to manage people, you didn't learn like the technical aspects and the deep things that are in your career. You didn't learn like, how to build caches or implement different types of mechanisms, whatever, and now you're stagnated because you didn't do anything. So overall, I would just say like, I mean, you don't have to do it. I don't think it's worth it personally, but final thing here, because I've been yapping for quite a bit of time, would I jump into AI? Like, and if I were going to jump into it, like, what would I even be doing? One, I would just find a partner who knows marketing and sales. So that would be like super, super important for me because if I can just find someone who can match that, you get outsized returns, right? So as I said before, you make no money if your skills are at like the bottom, but as they hit like the next level, well, now you unlock like even more income. And then when you hit the next level, you unlock even more after that and even more after that. This is why you can start at Google as a software engineer making 200K a year. And this is why when you get promoted, you get up to 300K a year. And then when you switch companies again, you get up to 400K a year. And if you switch to the right company, you get up to 500K, right? And it's because at like once you hit that gap, once you hit 2 years, 3 years, and you're actually learning, you're actually improving, you hit this like new ceiling where you get to unlock way more money. And instead of you spending 2 years, 3 years building that up yourself, you can just partner with someone who's already done that for the sales and marketing side. And then you guys dominate the space because he's able to attract clients and you're able to do the delivery. So I really like the partnership model because yes, you're splitting profits 50-50, but the multiplier effect is not 50-50. It's not 2x. When you get promoted in 3 years, it's not like it's like a 1.5x. But when you combine like the two of them, you get way more than 1.5x. The only thing I would do is I would not pay any AI coach. I would not pay for any person who's like, I'm going to teach you like this AI stuff. I think it's like massively overinflated because of the brand, because everybody wants to jump into this, because so many like people who don't know how to code are all like thinking about money and they all want money and they're all trying to like figure out the next way to make money. I think it's more of just like it's more of like a mindset. But you're gonna get marked up on a premium because of that. Like the real thing you need to learn is business. Like you need to learn sales, you need to learn marketing. You need to learn how to attract clients, you need to learn how to close them on a call. And then you also need to learn how to develop. And there's like tons of resources for all of those, but when you slap AI as a label on it, now like prices are marked up and you're probably honestly like in an environment with people who are just trying to get rich quick, because it's like a gold rush right now. And so I would not be joining like any kind of AI coaching, AI kind of group like that. So anyways, very, very long video. Hopefully like this helps someone if they're trying to make their decision onto AI. This video is very atypical than what I normally make. But I do like it. I like business, and so I like talking about this stuff. And I figured, hey, let's just write down all these notes. What do I think about this thing? So I will see you guys in another video. So peace.